Okay, here we are, everyone. So this is our final night of the approach and the review of how do you play in or run. Hi, Freestyle. Pardon. How do you play in or run Alien RPG? And if any of you are playing along at home and you have your book, hey, support your FLGS. Go pick up a copy. If they don't have it, talk to whoever does the ordering, whoever is the manager, or if you know the owner. In many cases, you can develop those kind of interpersonal relationships with the networking with the crew behind the counter. Ask them to get it in, and especially if you know that you can get a game going with your friends or family, pool your funds and get a big sort of care package of Alien stuff in through your local store. And if you don't have a local store, I know a guy, and I'll be happy to hook you up. Because you also get the whole community to help support you and inspire you too. Now, we spent the past couple nights going over rules that, for the most part, were from the approach of you're the player. And how do you open a door? How do you fire a gun? How is time and distance and other things measured? Some terminology, concepts, timing, etc. And tonight is going to be a broad capstone to this, because of course you as the facilitator of the game, you have DMs, you have STs, storytellers, and you also have GMs, though in this game you are the game mother. The game mother. So you have to do all of the things that a player character does, except you also control the NPCs and the entire rest of the world, and the enemies, and the inanimate things like the meteor that is barreling down on the ship that is has a crippled engine, and if you don't get it fired up in time, then you're going to be dashed in half. It doesn't even have anything to do with aliens, because this is something that can happen in space itself, because aliens are not the only thing that is scary about this system. So your job as game mother, I know, Mushio, be careful if the pearls you're wearing are your your Sunday best, because there might be some other revelations to get you to clutch those pearls as we continue. So, as the game mother, there we go. All right, clutched. You're firmly clenched in your seat as well. So it's an over/under, and we're good to go. And Mushio, if you didn't catch the other reviews, we're gonna go over it. And if you or others have questions, then hey, Bane, then we'll go back and we'll review it. So if you feel lost, that's fine. We'll go back and I'll help it make sense. Right? That's my job. That's what I'm here to do. It's not an inconvenience. Now, approaching this game from the other side of the screen, you are the game mother. You are the cold darkness of space itself. The colonists running the atmosphere processors, the greedy corporations and their machinations. You are long-lost secrets waiting to be discovered. You are the xenomorph. Being a GM takes some work, but it is also very rewarding. After all, you get to direct and star in your very own Alien movie. Remember, that's kind of the theme, right? Is that when you're playing, we're playing as if we're creating our own movie. This chapter tells you how to do it and what you'll need, but the most important tool is your own imagination. Use it well. Those are very wise words. When in doubt, use your imagination, because if you and everyone else at the table has fun, congrats, you've won. Yeah, the whole party died because the space station blew up, but Were you rolling? Tears pouring out of your eyes? Were your sides, you didn't even just like, your sides were bursting? They have been launched into space. Your sides are in space. Then you have won Alien RPG. And Durograx, welcome to the Hero Zone. We are one more person closer to the gargantuan Tiamat giveaway. Thank you very much, hello. Thank you very much, Durograx. 8 basic principles underpin the game. Their purpose is to help you set the right tone and provide a support structure for handling various situations that can arise during play. 1. Riff from the movies. Number 1. Here it is. We've all seen the Alien movies. Most of us multiple times. Now, if you haven't, that's fine. This is not a prerequisite. But it's encouraging you. If you have, lean into it. Use this fact in the game. Riff from dialogue, scenes, and characters. Describe a corridor like one of the Nostromo's walkways in Alien. Base a character on one of the Marines in Aliens. Encourage the players to do the same. There's plenty of source material to draw from. Use it. Run Alien Isolation in a tabletop form with this system. Do it. You absolutely can. Using these rules, you can very well simulate Alien Isolation, the video game, or you can study it as a player or GM for atmosphere, for other themes and things. So please lean into it. Be hackneyed, make those references, have fun. Right? If you want to treat this like everyone's like, yeah, it's a movie. Yeah, treat it like a movie. It's fine. Yes, Mushio. Because motion trackers are very much in this game, and I would highly encourage having that as part of your presentation. Demon Quiller says, I've pulled from The Thing, Zygote, The Shining, and Event Horizon as well. And if you want another H.R. Giger-inspired movie, don't forget Species. Species. And there's all other kinds of inspiration from which you can draw. So, right out here, the rule book is giving you permission. Lean into it. Enjoy it and have fun. Because especially in a more rules-light setting, such as Alien RPG, be descriptive and set up a scene that could just have a contradiction or allow for a special one-time circumstance that might fly in the face of the rules as written. And instead you go for the rule of cool, or what is cinematic, or what creates a moment of drama. Oh yeah, those two Demon Quiller. Limit their resources. Always make sure that the PCs have too little of something. Not enough ammo, just one gun to share, one compression suit less than the number of PCs. Scarcity of resources creates tension and forces the players to make difficult choices. 3. Stay in the shadows. Hint at the source of danger. Don't show it. Build up an atmosphere of dread and anticipation, then let the players' imaginations do the rest. Avoid revealing threats too early. Once the players know exactly what they're up against, the tension that results from facing the unknown is lost. If you want to present horror, this isn't a book, a role-playing game, a video game, a movie, an audio drama, whatever. Atmosphere. 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 That is one of your biggest tools to tell a story, to build that tension, to build the thrill of what is going to happen. Increase the pressure. And by the way, this is not just for Alien RPG. This is for D&D. This is for Starfinder. This is for Zweihander. This is for GURPS. This is for Made RPG. This is for All Flesh Must Be Eaten. This is for any game in which you want to create that tension or build horror. Good tips. Increase the pressure. Start easy and slowly add more and more complications to the situation. Think like a movie. The first act starts slow, then it accelerates toward the big finale. When things start to go wrong, let them go wrong all at once. Remember, this is a horror game. Force the PCs to fight for their lives. Also, let them breathe. At the center of every storm is a point of calmness. Sometimes it's important to back off and let the players take some time to recuperate. Give the PCs room to catch their breath and lick their wounds. Let them make plans and adapt their strategy. Doing so encourages them to lower their guard, even if it's just for a moment. When that happens, be sure to have a new challenge waiting. 6. Fuel their agendas. The PCs are living and breathing characters in the world of Alien, each with their own agendas and goals. Learn their agendas by heart and feed into them. Put them in situations that directly challenge their goals and see how they react. Use their fragile humanity against them. 7. Bring horrible death. PCs will die and die horribly. When the time comes, make the most of it. Embrace death. The Alien franchise is known for its iconic death scenes, so make it the same for your game. A PC death can be gruesome and tragic, but sometimes cathartic too. It raises the stakes for the survivors who need to up their game and find a way to press on. Reveal the universe. The universe of Alien is harsh and unforgiving, but it's also home to long-lost secrets, wondrous planets, and strange phenomena. Now and then, give the PCs a glimpse of something bigger. Let them feel the vastness of the universe and the insignificance of humanity. Show them the beauty and the horror. This works in Vampire the Masquerade. This works in choose a system off the shelf. This works in Fallout RPG. This works in The Expanse. This works in again, name a system. Do you let PCs re-roll in this game? Yes, there is a mechanic that will let you push your roll to re-roll. And that will increase stress. Stress is like the core mechanic here that will provide a lot of opportunities and a lot of panic as well. Knowing the unknowable. Uncertainty is the mother of fear. The players may have seen the movies, but the PCs sure haven't. Change things around so that neither the players nor the PCs are certain of exactly what they are facing or what will happen next. Maybe they're up against a different kind of enemy. Maybe this xenomorph behaves in an unexpected way. Never let them be certain of anything. Surprise them. Make sure your players are okay with the level of gore. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if they're engaging with this, you can bring up that, look, this system can lead to gore, body horror, psychological this and that. Like the solicitation I put out in our community when I was looking for players, I made sure to put it up there that I will stay within the realm of an R-rated movie. And if you're playing Alien RPG, then you're going to get an Alien style experience. Three overarching themes underpin the Alien role-playing game: space horror, sci-fi action, and a sense of wonder. Together they define the Alien universe. On their own, they define key aspects that the Alien movies and this game explore in detail. Hi. Meow. Are you jealous? Oh, I see. You want me to... Man, he comes in here trilling. Meow. Are you proud of yourself? He found the ball. He loves playing fetch. Go get it. Moreover, each key theme has a number of sub-themes that emphasize important parts of the Alien universe. Yes? May I help you? Did you get it? Where's the ball? Meow. I hear you. I see you, but I don't see your ball. Where's the Raichi ball? Go get it. Space horror. At its core, Alien is about survival. It is about confronting your deepest fears, fighting them, and trying to get home in one piece. It is about horror. The iconic xenomorph is the ultimate manifestation of this aspect, but the universe is capable of creating horror in lots of different ways, and not all are alien in nature. Unethical corporate experiments, bloody conflicts, and violent natural disasters make living in 2183 a tough proposition. The original Alien movie from 1979 is the perfect example of a space horror story. Space is hell. Nature is neither good nor evil. It is, however, indifferent to humanity. The universe is a harsh place to live in and will kill you in the blink of an eye if given a chance. A routine spacewalk, a sudden solar flare, or an ice storm can go from something serene or even beautiful to life-threatening in a second. Killing greed. Alien focuses on blue-collar workers at the bottom of the economic ladder. The ordinary working men and women struggling to get by in a brutal hyper-capitalistic society are the real heroes of the stories. It's working-class sci-fi where your sympathies are meant to be given to the little people. The greedy corporations and power-hungry nations are the dragons which the PCs will have to face sooner or later. In the end, humans are often the biggest monsters. Sci-fi action. Big set pieces, powerful weapons, and frenzied combat scenes. Action is a powerful driver in the Alien universe, whether it comes from the form of the Colonial Marines sweeping a seemingly abandoned mine, only to discover something lurking in the dark. Mighty starships exchanging missile volleys in high orbit, or corporate agents infiltrating an enemy installation. Heart-pounding action is a core element in the Alien role-playing game. James Cameron's Aliens from 1986 is the seminal action movie in the series. Someone else's war. The conflicts and wars of the 22nd century are all about the big corps or big nations wanting to get bigger. They're about power and money for the ones that already have too much. The little people are the ones actually doing the fighting, and you can be damn sure that the war is not really about their needs. Soldiers, Marines, and grunts are all working for the man. They fight because they need the paycheck to survive, not for some idealistic cause. Expendable assets. Being a soldier in 2183 is being a very small cog in a very big machine. A soldier is entirely expendable. There is no shortage of poor young men and women that are willing to fill the ranks. Serving in the military means being at the mercy of the top brass and their corporate overlords. Human life is not a valuable commodity. Better get used to it. Now, do you want to run a, Stardew Valley using Alien RPG, and your colony is actually peaceful, and the biggest thing you have to worry about is finding a date? Sure, you absolutely can. Do you need to get, very gritty? We had similar themes when we ran Cyberpunk. Is everything, the small guy versus the big corp? It can be. Lean into it. If you want to run as actually the corporate execs, do it too. Everyone actually has the best gear, they're at the top of the ladder. They don't have to worry about anything until they do. You can theme this, brand it, run it how you'd like. These are ways to start thinking an approach to tell a story. And it's condensing. If you have read books or comics, if you've played the video games, seen the movies, the general themes that have been presented so far. Do you have to run it that way? No. But the system is designed to, encourage it and give you tools to really explore it if you do. A sense of wonder. The alien universe is a place of long-lost secrets and ancient mysteries. Faraway colonists report strange findings. Spaceship crews on the frontier discover inexplicable signals and encounter things that defy classification. There is clearly more to the universe than previously thought. The realization that the universe is not an empty place is an important aspect of alien stories. The first act of the original Alien movie by Ridley Scott is about finding the unthinkable. A similar theme is present in Prometheus. The origin of life. Where do we come from? Who made us? What are we here for? These questions are as old as humanity itself. Nevertheless, these existential thoughts are made all the more relevant once humans encounter life amongst the stars. Birth, death, and the cycle of life is an important theme of many stories in Alien. Old and new gods. With science struggling to answer the question of alien life and our role in the universe, religion answers the call. When humanity stares into the dark abyss of space and sees death and horror, many turn back towards faith and worship. That's a big theme in Dead Space, if you're familiar with that. And maybe to an extent, what is the recent Geiger style video game that came out? It's more of a puzzle game, but it has a lot of like biomechanical. I'm trying to remember what. Do you all remember out there? Shame on me for forgetting. What was the video game that came out recently that has a lot of that biomechanical-ness to it? Scorn. Thank you, Scorn. Watch a playthrough or play through Scorn yourself. And if you want a sense of wonder, play or watch a playthrough of Scorn and see what you can develop in your own Alien RPG game. All of these are resources for you. Because I guarantee you, if you sit down and you go, oh, everyone at my table has watched the first two Alien movies, but you really want to run Aliens because that's your thing, then that's fine. Either just directly run it or make a thinly veiled, like just kind of step aside a little bit. There's a good chance, though, that a lot of players, even if they're familiar with the property, or even you all watch the same anime together, you've read a lot of the same books, whatever, that when you are in the middle of a role-playing session, there may not be that connection in their head to go, oh, my GM is directly drawing from this as the inspiration. Even if both of you are aware that each of you have seen that source. Because in that moment, they are that character and you are the game mother presenting that story. And so it is a similar story, but told in a different way. Enough has changed. And even you as the GM understand what your players in that circumstance have seen, and you know exactly how you can tweak things to be just a little different, enough to rattle them, enough to have them always in that sense of wonder and never fully catch on that you're actually retelling what would be a good anime series that could go along these lines. Kind of in a sense, Berserk could be interesting. Oh, Parasite! Yeah, there you go, Bane. Yeah. Change it just enough. I did the Independence Day speech for Inspirational Leader before a boss fight. Oh, the Bill Pullman one. Did anyone at the table catch on, or were they like, dude, that was amazing? Did you just come up with that? Retrofuturism. The future is old and worn. Spaceships look like oil refineries. Computers are the size of a room. Spacesuits look like they belong to 19th century divers. Everything in the alien universe is designed for practicality and durability. The retro-futuristic aesthetic is everywhere, with the possible exception of the dwellings of the corporate elite. This particular brand of retrofuturism is the result of Ron Cobb, Ridley Scott, and others who designed the original Alien movie. Use this to describe the universe of Alien to the players. Describe old flickering CRT screens, analog gear, and chunky equipment. Imagine a science fiction world with technology from the 1970s, leaky pipes and bad lighting, and you're on point. They knew but love it. Hey, and yeah, if it fit, then everyone at the table is going to cheer even if they knew the original source. So never be afraid to lean into it. The only time you ever would have to worry about that is if for some reason you have, I don't know, you're streaming your game to 100,000 people and you might get a copyright strike, you know? But I think the majority of us don't have a following or a fan base for our games beyond the couple people, friends or family that join us at our dining room table or sit down at a friendly local game store. So, have those speeches, have those memes, have those memories. Because if you want a very compelling way to increase the tension, especially in something like Alien RPG, I want you all to look up, if you're not already familiar, I want you to look up the Indianapolis speech. And for all of you out there, there's like 30 of you there. For all of you out there, do any of you know, without looking it up, what the Indianapolis speech is? And how could you use the Indianapolis speech in a game of Alien RPG? So a quick challenge for you in chat. The Alien role-playing game is a horror game at its heart. The question is not if, but rather when the PCs will encounter something horrific and fight desperately to escape, or give their lives so that others might do so. Fear and horror is in the very DNA of Alien. Your primary tools for invoking terror around the gaming table are stress and panic. Stress can be introduced by you as a GM when the PCs encounter certain horrific situations or fearsome beings, but it will mainly be incurred by the PCs in response to their own actions. This makes your job easier. You just need to introduce a terror of some kind and let the PCs interact with it while their stress levels ratchet up and their personal agendas collide. In the end, the fight to survive will be as much against their own human nature as it will be against the horrific creature or situation they face. Here are 3 tools to use for creating horror. Fear of the unknown. Yeah? Meow? Are you reading this too? I don't know if y'all can hear him, but he is being super chatty. Fear of the unknown, not knowing what you are facing is scary. Use this to your advantage and let the enemies hide in the shadows for as long as possible. Let the player's imaginations do the work for you. Loss of control. Make the PCs feel powerless by taking away their resources. Turn off the lights, cut the power, make machinery malfunction. When they lose control over things, fear takes over. Horrible choices. Put them in situations where they have to make difficult life or death choices. Will they sacrifice one to save the many? Will they risk everything for a buddy? Make them decide. Yep, it is from Jaws, Demon Quiller. And also, hi, GMV. If you all pop over to YouTube, or hi, if you're watching this on YouTube in the future, Movie Clips is a channel that has a lot of like moments from movies. If you type in the Indianapolis speech, I'm sure you could find multiple hits. Movie Clips has a good one of it. Play. I would actually get a copyright strike if I play it, because it is the scanning tech that they have will actually pick up the speech from the movie. But if you look up the Indianapolis speech, listen to it, and I want you to imagine, as you are, how would you use that in a game of Alien RPG? Let your mind wander, let your imagination take over, and I would love to hear in here if you're familiar or you watch it and you just go, I get it. The 3 stages of fear. Creating horror in a role-playing game is not always easy. Overdo it and the players aren't scared anymore. Downplay it and the game drags on. The key to game mothering horror is to manage pacing properly and keep the major threat hidden as long as possible. To do this effectively, you need to carefully manage the stages of fear in the game: dread, terror, and horror. Now for me, a full confession, I don't know if any of my players are hanging out here. Awkward Mancer, Valandar, if you're here, Coffee Cat might be hanging out, but Coffee's my co-GM. This is I've been running games for a long time. This isn't my first rodeo running Alien RPG, but I'll tell you, anytime I do want to present this is always a concern. I'm a seasoned veteran of playing and running RPGs. And this is where I hope I will hit a sweet spot. And I will invoke what I hope to invoke with my players. And it's okay to have that concern. In fact, much like the stress mechanic of Alien RPG, if you keep that in the forefront, it might, that'll help hone your edge. It'll help keep you sharp. But remember, don't be a pizza cutter. A pizza cutter is all edge and no point. You want to have a point to your edge. You want to be able to pierce for that visceralness, or to deflate the hope and expectations. Dread. The sense that something bad is about to happen, but no one is really sure what or why. Dread is the first stage of fear in the Alien role-playing game and should be employed as often as possible. The key to using dread is planting seeds and watching events unfold. The players know something terrible is about to take place, but without knowing what it is, they can't do anything about it. This dread may evolve to the next stage, but sometimes it won't, and that's fine. Examples of dread. A control panel indicates that the airlock was just cycled manually, whilst all the crew are accounted for on the bridge. Someone finds blood on the walkway. The ship's cat is missing. A strange and leathery egg is found in a crashed derelict ship. It's like something is alive in there. Urians, hello! Welcome back! Good to see you again, my friend! Terror. Welcome, Urians! Terror. You feel terror when you know something bad will happen at any moment now. It is no longer a question of if, but rather when it will take place. From a role-playing perspective, the feeling of terror is the most effective feeling of fear, as the PCs are at their most helpless state. Therefore, terror often involves the scariest moments in a gaming session. Use it selectively for maximum effect. Examples of terror. A squad of Marines investigating an old mine steps into something slimy. One of the Marines hears a hissing sound. she realizes that something is directly above her. A colonial marshal following a killer in the deep bowels of a space station realizes that she is the prey. A pilot on a stranded shuttle barricaded in the cockpit hears pounding on the access hatch. Something wants in. Horror. The ultimate form of fear is horror. Horror is the moment when the danger reveals itself. It is the moment of climax. The payoff that the earlier stages of fear have hinted at. But because of this, it is also less scary than terror. When horror hits, the game mechanics take over. You draw initiative and fight it or try to escape. Horror is vital to the game, but it should be used rarely and is often best utilized late in a game session rather than early. Examples of horror. A corporate agent turns around and stands face to face with an alien baring its teeth. The egg opens and a crab-like creature lunges at the closest crew member, attaching itself to her face amidst the screams of her friends. Black, lightning-quick creatures crawl through the walls and roof toward the Marine Squad. Relieving the stress. An important part of the game is managing the stress levels of the PCs. The players have several ways to do this, such as interacting with a signature item, finding a safe place to hide, or helping each other to calm down. As the GM, let them catch their collective breath and regroup from time to time. Calmer periods are vital to keeping an atmosphere of horror throughout a game session. This also opens up new opportunities for you to ramp up the pressure. Once they feel safe and lower their guard, strike at them again. After all, it's not over until it's over. If Coffee Cat's hanging out, that concept is in one of Coffee's favorite songs, or at least in a playlist you'll hear during caffeine fixes and on drawing streams and other sort of inspirational moments. Splitting the team. Sometimes the players will want to split up into smaller groups. Let them! When doing this, it is important that you cut back and forth between the groups so that one group does not have to wait too long for the other. Let them all stay at the table even if they are not in the same location. Trust the players to separate what they know and what their PCs know. We would call that meta-knowledge. Use the fact that they have split up to create interesting and scary situations. Also consider what means of communication the PCs have access to. Do they have personal communicators? If not, are there communication terminals around? Yep, there you go. Coffee is with us. A corporate agent turns around and stands face to face with an alien. Oh, that poor horrified alien facing the true horror of the universe. Capitalism, says Sierra Echo. Yeah, in this case, the human enters the room and the alien. The alien realizes, I was created from this? Could I become this? Agendas, secrets, and PvP. Now, while it is not in a light background, it has the cool, kind of gribbly nature of the angles and this style. This is important because Alien RPG encourages. Now, must you? No, but it does encourage, especially in a cinematic consideration. People have secret agendas. The scientist wants to live, but the scientist might also want to get that sample off planet. Because when the movie's over, the scientist will be very well taken care of. Every PC's personal agenda is secret and only known to the player and the GM. Sometimes a player may want to secretly communicate something to you. We recommend that you let them, but keep it simple. Stay in the room and ask them to write something on a note. Some groups are comfortable with talking about secrets openly, separating their knowledge from that of their PCs. Find a way that makes sense to your group. Don't overcomplicate things, And remember, if a PC starts to act in direct opposition to the rest of the group, it's time to call PvP. Play the current scene to an end, and then turn the PC into an NPC. Now, these are some extra notes here. I mean, I'll go over it here, but some of this is we didn't talk a lot about rolling, and we didn't talk a lot about this. This is more to consider, and it's gonna. We're now getting into case-by-case basis, so there is a lot here. There are two major forms of play in this RPG: cinematic or campaign, and there's some tips for that, some methods for you to build a story. And this is more something that we'll save for week 3 when we're actually building a story. So what I want to do here, we have these considerations. We have the overall context of the idea. And then inside this cell wall, we have this kind of plasma. And then we have the nucleus with all of the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of our cell. We have all of the rules. This is the crunch. DQ, if you ever need it, we have this you can use too. There you go. So let's review the rules. All right, we have our. We've had our talk. We've had the talk, chat. I hope it wasn't awkward for you, but we've had the talk. We have our context. Within that now, remember that whatever you're doing as a GM or a PC, this is the engine of this. And Mushio, if you're still here, we can go and answer questions about the core mechanics of the system. Right? Because if we go back to... Oh no, don't, come on. Hopefully I just gotta let it load a little bit here, and then I'll just take this slowly and we'll go one step at a time. What you do, as you would... I don't want to keep this up on screen if it's gonna... Oh, you know what? Hang on. It's still flashing. I don't know why the PDF is doing this. I have a computer that can open a PDF, even one as large as a rule book. I don't know why it is it's giving me grief like that. But let me reopen it, and we'll just stick to the front part of the section. As I'm finding this. In this game, remember, only roll if it really matters for something. Because when you roll an Alien RPG, it is... when you roll an Alien RPG, you either succeed or you fail. And when you fail, something bad happens. So it's not you do it or you don't and nothing happens. It's a term we hear a lot in D&D. It's not an official term, but a lot of us use it, called save or suck. It's called save or suck because you either pass and you get a good thing, or you just do the thing, or it's not going to be good for you. And so if you fail, you fail. And there could be consequences. So as the GM, only ask for a roll if there's something, it could be minor, but ask if there's something at stake. Aside from that, hey, lean into who the characters are and what they do. You know, if someone is a space trucker and maybe they've worked on this this type of space diesel engine his entire life, there's probably a lot about it that, unless it's an emergency situation, you can just let go. Oh, thank you. Well, he brought it right to me. All right, you want this? You ready? Go get it. So, you build your dice pool if something's going to happen. You build your dice pool from your abilities, and you build your dice pool from your skills, if a skill is involved as well. And those are D6s. You build that dice pool of what's called base dice. Base dice, if you have... My goodness. You kitty cats are really wanting my attention when I'm otherwise preoccupied. Maybe he's trying to tell me something. There could be an alien with us. Here, I'm going to make sure this isn't flashing. But I want to go to... Oh, that's sideways. Hang on a second. Hi, did you bring it back? Where's your ball? Go get your ball. I'll throw it. Oh, what is this? A character sheet for ants? Come on. All right, we'll use this. This will work. Okay, let's come back to the main. So we're going to use this as a pretend character sheet, okay? So Mushio, you're playing in a game that I'm running, and it is you have one of your party members is freaking out, man, because there's something in the walls, and it's really stressing everyone else out. And you want to command that person to stop it. Shut up. What I would have you do to roll command is build your dice pool. Command is one of 3 skills tied to empathy. Okay? So your dice pool would start with 5 base dice plus 3 base dice from your skill. You have your attribute. I'm sorry, I was calling them abilities. Kind of force a habit. You have your attribute, and then you have your skill. So your starting dice pool is 8. And you might go, oh, yeah, cool. I'll throw 8 dice. And on those base dice, you are looking for 1 6. Hopefully more, but at least 1 6. At least 1 6. And if you get that 6 on those 8 dice, Mushio, congrats. You have a basic success. You did the thing that you wanted to do, and you did it in a normal way. So, things proceed apace. Now, let's say that you got 3 6s on your roll of 8 d6. Well. One of those is consumed. Well, I'll do this one. One of those is consumed to get the success. And what do you do with your 2 spares? In this system, there are stunts. Stunts can be kind of like a critical hit or getting a critical in other systems. Stunts allow you there's some pre-written things per skill or what you could do with a weapon. Or if you have a suggestion to your GM, you can say for these 2 other successes, I want to do it in half the time. I'm sorry, I want to do it in half the time, and I want to do it quietly. Hi, Valandar. So, not only were you successful in getting your teammate to calm down, you did it in half the time normally, and you were quiet about it. And then, there we go. Congrats. Now, let's say, Mushio, that you got 0 6s on your roll. Yeah, Ghost Swarm. Also, hi, I'm sorry I didn't say hi to you earlier. And this is crucial because if this party member freaks out, you've lost your engineer, and you kind of need your engineer to keep the entire spaceship from exploding. And what you can do in this system is called push your roll. The stakes are high, so what you say is, I'm going to push my roll. You scoop up your dice and you roll them again. Hopefully, you get a 6. Now, interestingly enough, you are actually rolling 9 dice. You have your base 8. 5 from empathy, 3 from command. One of those dice is not a base dice. Is not your base dice. It is a stress die. The situation is stressful. So you take a different type of die, called a stress die, and you throw that into the pool. Now, what that means is you have 1 more die to possibly get a success, a 6. However, and isn't there always a however, if that stress die comes up as a 1, then there's panic. And that's a whole other chart where things start going out of control. So you can see that managing your stress, building and managing your stress, is a component of the resource management on your character sheet. Now, in this instance, if you were this character, if you were Vanessa Miller, and I have you roll a command, so like you calm them down by pulling them into you, and yeah, so you can interpret the results and sort of role play what happened, Mushio. So let's do this, Mushio. I want you to type exclamation point 2d6. These are going to represent your 2 stress level if this is your character here, okay? 5 and a 5. No successes, but they were not 1s. If those were 1s, you'd panic. And now hopefully there's at least 1 success in there. Otherwise, remember, you either succeed or you fail. It is not you succeed or nothing happens. It is you succeed or you fail. I guess generally people moving ahead that way would be success, and that would be fail going backward. Anyway, that's it. If you get a bunch of successes, you can do a bunch of extra stunts. Those are called stunts, not criticals. And that backs up the fact that let's play through an Alien movie of our own, or through any of the modules that have already been written up, or something you might find from a third-party publisher on DriveThruRPG or some other place. When you attack, it's the same thing, because you would be rolling ranged combat. So in this case, Mushio, you have something coming at you here, and you have a pistol. You have this service pistol. You're going to fire it. Your base dice would be 3 from agility, 1 from ranged combat, and 1 because of your service pistol. Tools can give you a bonus to this. So instead of 4d6, you're actually rolling 5d6. Now there are some other modifiers as well. If you're firing far away with a pistol, then I might have you actually deduct 3 dice from your pool if it's super far away. And now all of a sudden you're rolling 2 base dice and 2 stress dice. So anytime you do something, this is why rolls should only be when there's something kind of crucial happening. You either succeed or you fail. It's not a succeed or nothing. And you build your dice pool with your attribute, your skill, and any other conditional modifiers, such as stress, whatever weapon or tool that you're using, or something else. Is it low light? Can you not see, but you might still be able to get a shot off? I might make the arbitrary decision to say, all right, build your dice pool and then subtract 2 dice from it. And by the way, the stress dice are the ones that are ever taken away last. You deduct from your base pool first. I don't have a 5, but I do have a 4. So let's simulate. Let's say Mushio, that you have 0 stress and you want to try and hit someone with a wrench. You found it and you want to wing it at their head. I want you to roll 4d6. Right now, I don't know, it's a joke, right? I don't know why throwing a wrench at someone's a joke, but let's say it's a joke. You know, it's whatever. You're not stressed. We're not building that. You do 4d6. 3, 1, 3, 3. All right, now Mushio, you have 0 successes. Now, what this would mean is you failed. So it's not only did you miss, you missed, and it makes a super loud clatter that echoes up and down the chamber. Now, what is the consequence? I don't know. So it's not just saying you missed, which could be a consequence itself, but it's not just that you missed, you failed in some way. Now, what you can decide, Mushio, if you choose to reject that reality and replace it with your own, you can push your roll and re-roll it. But now you are stressed. You really had to hit your friend with the wrench. The consequence is you further damage what the other guy was working. Yeah, exactly. There's something along those lines. So now, let's say Mushio, you go, no, I need to hit my friend in the head with this wrench. You push your roll. And so you would roll 4d6, agility, plus ranged combat. And I don't have a 5, so you'd have to try a 4d6 again. And then you need to roll a stress die. Roll 1d6, Mushio. We'll count those 7s as successes, and we'll talk about that. Uh-oh, Pesquetios. Mushio got a 1 on the stress die. Okay. Well, Mushio, despite you getting 2 successes that you otherwise would have hit, your friend, because you were stressed and you had 1 point of stress, you panic because you got a 1 on your stress die. So the 2 successes, it's as if it never happens. We take that option of hitting, like, so you fail, and it's not only fail, but you panic in so doing. So now what we're going to do, you are going to make a panic roll. Mushio, I would like you to roll 1d6. 1d6 is your panic roll, and we are going to add your stress level and interpret the result. 3 plus 1 is 4, right? So you rolled 3 and you had 1 stress. On a result of 1 to 6, you're keeping it together. You managed to keep your nerves in check, barely. So right now, you only have a little bit of stress, and so you just fail. So even though you had those 2 successes, it's a failure, and but you know things are okay. Now, the game goes on and the stakes are higher. And now instead of trying to play a prank on your friend, like, dude, bro, it was just a prank. It was just a monkey wrench to the back of your head, bro. Why are you so upset? Now let's pretend you need to throw that wrench because you have been chased by a xenomorph throughout claustrophobic tunnels and through gnashing gears of engines and other things. And now, like, your heart is racing. Your stress level, you are at stress 6, okay? Because of everything that has been happening. Your heart is pounding. This thing is close to finding you. You have your monkey wrench, and wouldn't you know, Mushio, you're gonna throw it so it'll chase you this way while you run this way. But 1 on 1 of your 6 stress die, because all it takes is 1. So your stress pool is good. It builds your dice pool for possibly more successes. That's also more chances to roll a 1 on 1 of those stress die. But Mushio, you have 6 stress. 1 of them came up as a 1. What are the odds? Well, 1 in 6. I want you to roll the panic die again. 1d6 plus 6, which is your stress. I don't have an additive. We're just going to float that with our brains. 1. Ooh, lucky you. This is only going to be a 7. You have a nervous twitch. Now, you did fail. Your monkey wrench is not going where you thought. In fact, maybe you went to throw it, and because it's dramatic, you let go too soon and the monkey wrench clatters behind you. Uh-oh. You get a nervous twitch. Your stress level and the stress level of all friendly PCs in short range of you increases by 1. So, everyone was counting on you to make that distraction. You go to huck the wrench in that direction, and instead it fell behind you, and you just turn around to the other people in your party who are looking at you like, what did you just do? And you have a nervous twitch. Not only does your stress level go up, you've stressed out everyone else, and their stress levels go up, meaning that it's easier for someone else on the team to also mess up. Now, let's pretend that you are a colonial marine, and you are absolutely lighting up a target. You are on a bug hunt, and this is absolutely, you are in your element. You might be kind of stressed, but let's not worry about that. Mushio, this time I would like you to roll 1d6 to tell me how many successes from your dice pool. I don't know how many dice there are, but I want to simulate you getting X amount of successes. 4. All right. So you've modified your roll, and boom, 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 boom. 4 of all of your dice, whether they're stress or base, are 6s, are successes. You get to perform stunts. 3 in particular. Remember, 1 is always you did a thing. You did it. Congrats. You pulled the trigger, and the pew-pew went where you needed it to go. Now you have this budget of 3 other things that you can have happen. In this case, you can turn each of those 3 into extra damage. So you can treat it kind of like a critical hit in that regard. So, boom! You fire your shotgun, and you don't want 1 point of damage. You say, nope, I'm dumping all of my 3 other successes into damage. Or you can say, I want to bleed off one of those to pin down my enemy. You pin down your enemy. PCs need to make a panic roll. So if you're shooting into a group of player characters, NPCs miss their next slow action. Or you can position yourself and get to exchange your initiative score with your enemy, meaning that you can swap out one of your, as a stunt, you can go sooner on the next round. Your target drops a weapon or other handheld object. You choose which. Or your opponent falls to the ground or is pushed back, for example, through an airlock. So you might say, you know what? I need this thing gone. I am going to... so you had 4 successes. 1 is just to hit. I'm going to have one of my successes push back my target through the door, and I just want to dump the other 2 into extra damage. And there you go. Oh, DQ? I agree. I agree with that. No, you can't bank stunts. And you know what? If something else comes to mind in the situation, if I describe this to what's going on and you have something that you think would be cool to do with your gun that's not explicitly listed, pitch it to your GM. Yeah, some skills will say you don't have to do this again. Valandar, that could end up being something that you might choose to put an extra. You can either modify your roll because you want to hit a small target, which is a -2. If you want to try and go for a small target or something even smaller, you can modify your shot that way and just get less dice to roll, but only hit the thing you're going for. Or you might be able to negotiate something in the resolution with an amount of successes. But generally, you know, that is what it is. But now let's say that you're shooting at there is someone chasing after you, and this creature or this person has armor. Let's say that my armor rating is 4. Okay, I have some sort of like an armored vest on. Now, the gun that Mushio fired, he took the initial damage and he put 2 more points into it. So I have 3 points of damage coming my way. But let's say I have an armor value of 4. I am going to roll 4d6, and every success of my armor is going to mitigate 1 point of damage coming in from that shot. In this case, well, I got a 7. Again, the dice roller is broken because Stream Elements fixed their random number generation. But let's pretend that the 7 is a 6. So instead of taking 3 points of damage, my armor will kind of soak one of that, and I'll only take 2 points of damage. And so we're treating it kind of like a contested roll. If we're grappling, if we're trying to manipulate versus not being manipulated, it's the similar concept. The attacker can push, the defender can't. Like I can't push my armor value, or my armor soak or whatever, right? But you could have pushed your attack against me. And we just see who's stronger. Who has more successes to inflict or cancel out what happens. And there you go. That's for whatever you want to do. You want to start up the helicopter? You want to open a stuck door? You want to go full auto fire into a hallway teeming with xenomorphs? You want to, I mean, you probably shouldn't call a roll for eating a sandwich, but I don't know, maybe it's 0G and you want to save face, and so you don't accidentally, like, I don't know, put it on your forehead. Whatever you want to do in this system, you build your dice pool, and you're looking for a success, otherwise it's save or suck. And you can push your roll and go for more successes. Because sometimes just succeeding may not be enough. You may want to inflict more than 1 point of damage. You may want to do something in not just half the time, but a quarter of the time. And so you dump, if you got your 3 successes and you're trying to open a stuck door, because otherwise you're going to be crushed by whatever is rolling at you, you could say, all right, I succeeded at opening the door. I'm going to do it in half the time. I'm going to do it in a quarter of the time. And the GM might say, all right, I'll allow that. That seems good. And you do it, and you get in before the thing crushes you. It didn't matter that you wanted to do it quietly or you modify it through some other stunt. You had to get through. And there you go. So Mushio and others who are new to the system, does this make sense? Does the engine of this role-playing system make sense to you? You know, base dice plus stress dice and other modifiers, or your attribute plus your skill plus modifiers. You know, whatever makes sense for you. Okay, you build your dice pool for whatever you're doing, and you let it go. Do you push? Can you push or not? And because this system only has the 12 skills, and 2 of those skills are either close combat fighting or ranged fighting, a lot of this is open for interpretation. This is it is not a very crunchy system. Ask questions, propose cool stuff, go rule of cool, go big budget summer blockbuster, whatever. Ham it up with one-liners. This is not a crunchy system. It's a system where if you want to do something, you build a simple dice pool. Maybe you push your luck. There's a pushing your luck element to this. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Add that stress die and let it rip again. In fact, if you have 8 dice and you got 2 successes, and you say, I want more successes, and you push your roll, add 1 extra stress die, and re-roll all your non-successes. Because now maybe you have 5 successes, and the juice was worth the squeeze to get that little bit of extra stress. And it worked out in your favor. You pushed your luck. There you go, Mushio. You got it. Running is good. Yep. If we can outrun our friends, yeah, exactly. You don't have to run faster than the creature chasing you. You got to run faster than your friend who's beside you. Yeah, you can also use close combat stunt to grapple. Yep. And yeah, so gear will modify this. Circumstances will modify it. Are you shooting at long range? Blah, blah, blah. Do you have to memorize every piece of gear and every chart for a modifier? No. Do not let that stop you from getting into the system or paralyze you from wanting to play. Just like with any RPG, you get it and handle what happens at the table. Negotiate back and forth with your GM. You're all in this movie together. Grab the Berserker and pivot them around to face the alien. Yeah, I agree, DQ. Which, by the way, there is actually a talent that is kind of like a Berserker. It's called Overkill. And in that case, you kind of want to be stressed out because you turn all of those non-optimal stress effects into you're the action hero, you're the Rambo or whatever. You have the minigun, you're holding the belt of bullets, and you don't stop shooting until nothing is moving. So, are there a lot of pages? Yeah, there are. Is there a lot of atmosphere and a lot of gear and vehicles and art? There are. Do not let that slow you down from playing this game. At its core, this is a very narrative system with an easy mechanic of dice pool management. And there you go. Now, if my pitch didn't sell you, well, I mean, maybe horror games aren't your thing. Or you say, I don't know, I'd rather just stick to a D20 plus 1 modifier. I get it. I'm not personally offended. People come over to the RPG shelves all the time in the store, and, you know, they'll look through things and they'll say, I don't like this because of the art, or I don't like this, you know, a bunch of a percentile system. I don't know. Percentile just doesn't seem to speak to me. And so for some of you out there, because look, there's how many of you? 30 people out there. Maybe you go, I don't know, building a dice pool off that. You know, you gave it a chance, you listened, but this isn't your system. Hey, thank you for letting me pitch it to you. Because I'm sure that there is a system out there that is going to speak to your heart and soul. Valandar says, I know a huge number of people ignore new games if they're not D20. Yep. As this is the sacred geometry, and, I mean, people, if you have a belief system, if you have a faith system, or something that is core to your existence, if it's not this, then it's nothing. And, well, I mean, as the saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Now, that phrase is extended, and that's where we, as friends or store owners or family of other tabletop gamers, will come in. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. But, hold on. We're getting a raid. Welcome, Magi, RPG, Arcane Adam, First Time Chatter, Duck Dice, Kraigums. Welcome, everyone. Let's get a shout out over to Magi RPG. Thank you very much. What were you all up to? And welcome to the Hero Zone. This is an extension of a friendly local game store where we take that camaraderie, in fact, I was just talking about this, the teaching of things and getting a pool of people who love similar hobbies together as we explain it to each other. We share good times. We share our experiences and stories. And in fact, tomorrow I'll be broadcasting from the store. We're probably going to have a couple things to give away. And it's usually it's the last broadcast of the week. And we have a lot of fun. There's usually some prizes and things involved. Welcome, everyone, from Magi RPG. And hello to Daily, and thank you for that shout-out, Daily. Yep, we're learning how to kill xenomorphs and throw wrenches in space. So as I was saying, if this comes to a point where you have a friend and they go, I don't know, it's not a D20 based system. I don't know if I can handle it. I don't know if it's for me. I don't know if I have the time or the I want to put in the effort to learn a non D20 system. Again, you can lead a horse to water. You can't make it drink, but yes, the third part of this phrase that many of us may not realize exists or consider, but you can make it thirsty. And to do that, it's often extending that olive branch. Hey, you know what? I get it. Maybe you don't want to sit down and learn it. You've been busy playing a lot of or running a lot of games for us. If I sat down and learned it, would you be willing to play? I'll pick up the starter. I'll pick up the book. How can you make people in your life who may otherwise go, well, I've never seen Alien, so I probably am not qualified to play? Baloney. So how can you make the horse thirsty? How can you make them want to drink? Want to try something? Dip that toe into the pool. Open yourself up to something else. And there's a lot of ways to go about it, and that's what communities like this are for. To explain the rules, to welcome newcomers to the hobby. And for that, Duck Duck Dice, Arcane Adam, Craigums, anyone else who came over in the raid, what was going on over in your tabletop RPG session? Can you let me know? What are we doing, neighbors? Hello, welcome to the barbecue. We can switch the dice pool for crewmates / friends. Urban Zombie, this system in Alien is an excellent step away from D20s. Simple enough to teach the basics and still have fun without all the extra details. Yes, exactly. And Urban? So this can be a good gateway into dice pool style systems like Vampire the Masquerade or Hunter, or to come out Werewolf as well. And there's other systems as well that are dice pool based. And that's a good step in that direction while keeping things engaging and imaginative, but they don't have a lot of minutia, a lot of scary crunch rules. It's not a 600-page rule book where you need to roll to breathe in. Now, did you breathe out? Roll. Oh, you didn't. All right. Well, we had this modifier for breathing out, and it's also the winter solstice, and the moon is, you know what? I'm going to give it to you. Rule of cool. The moon is actually like, we're technically 1 day away from a new moon, but I'm going to give it to you anyway for this modifier. So to exhale, then you need, there's games kind of like that, right? Showing how fun it can be, exactly. Duck Duck Dice says, oh, I caught the end of the stream. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a xenomorph. Yeah, there you go. But I'm running a Forged in the Dark game. Hack the Planet. People play short cinematics at cons with almost no... Yep. You can sit down and go in this system, and it can still be very engaging. Duck Duck Dice says, so upvote about your comment on learning new systems and teaching people. My group was a D&D group before. And, as an FLGS, I've seen a lot of this too, where that's how a lot of us have met. That's where most of this community has met. And it may still hold a place in our hearts. We may still always get together with our group on whatever day, and you still play. But maybe, now that you have that experience, you might be thirsty for something else. You might want to explore other things. And I'm really glad to hear that you are that you're playing through that. And so thank you, Duck Duck, for coming over and letting us know about that. Now, as you all are a group and you stream and you play this stuff, oh no, Valandar, sorry to hear. I will happily invite you over to our Discord. And now some of you might be like, dude, I'm in 11 billion Discords. Well, we keep this one PG-13. We run a lot of events and giveaways and other things through it. It is again, like I ask people to conduct themselves in the store, and as I ask people to, to conduct themselves here, it's no worse than PG-13. We keep it fun. We keep it friendly. You should get the same feeling as walking into a clean, friendly FLGS online, just as you would if you walked into the physical store. So if events and prizes and communicating with other people, and especially if any of you out there are streamers, let us know when you go live. I am happy to be a central place for people to inform others. Hey, we're painting minis tonight. Hey, we're playing D&D. Hey, we're doing Starfinder. Hey, I'm world building. Or hey, I'm doing a Pokemon playthrough. It doesn't all have to be RPG stuff. There's so many different views out there. You come from all walks of life. You're interested in so many different things. Share that with other people who have this wholesome, organic attraction to similar hobbies as you. Meet and mingle and expand yourself with people that you may otherwise never have met outside of this rally under this common banner.